Okay, welcome to Non-Lethal Podcast 11, where you listen to two people talk about nothing.
Whole lot of nothing.
I mean, do we ever have anything important to talk about?
Just a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, but at least it's not lethal to anyone.
That
At
depends
least
on
we
who you
hope
ask.
not. Okay, so you want to start business now, then?
Yeah, I mean, we could always talk about the thing everybody's talking about.
Well, because it just came out,
Yeah.
which is the new Spider-Man movie.
Seems to be widely critically acclaimed, and for good reason. I mean, we both saw it, so actually, warning to any of the viewers, spoiler alert.
We are going
You've
to be
been
spoiling
warned.
this thing raw, because at this point, it's been over a week.
Like, who doesn't know?
We are, let's put it this way, the movie's fantastic if you want a short review of it. I loved it. I'm sure you loved it.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what sucks? I have a friend who's like on deployment, and I think he's gonna be on deployment for like 100 something days. He said, "Don't spoil this for me." You know, he's posted it on Facebook, but I'm like, you post it on Facebook, you're gonna have somebody doing it just to piss you off.
And another thing is everyone's talking about it. You could just simply go on Google and there's heavy spoilers.
Yeah, and then you could eventually see it in the comments or in a headline of an article.
The best thing he could do
Stay away from
is stay
social
away
media.
from the internet entirely.
Exactly. It's pretty shitty on the ship too, so maybe
Yes.
you won't have a hard time with that.
Yes. And so they reference a lot of old things as well as new things. They reference Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. They reference Andrew Garfield Spider-Man with, a lot of their iconic scenes.
Oh yeah, I love the references they threw in. I swear they must know about memes because
They do.
Harry Osborn was like, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that line, I was like, yeah, that I should have expected that line.
I loved it. It was so funny because you always see those memes throughout Facebook, and then the other one I really liked was whenever Andrew Garfield Spider-Man cracked Tobey Maguire's back because you remember that scene. Well,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, he
a
fell off the
refresher
building. It was when he
into
was losing his
cars.
powers. He fell off the building,
Yeah.
which is hilarious.
Dude, I loved it. I loved like those little callbacks that they made. I
Mm.
think that was like nostalgia done right. Unlike, in my opinion, I know we have differing opinions on this, but unlike Star Wars,
Well, we have different opinions on Force Awakens. The sequels, we're pretty, united on that.
yeah. And it's funny because it was divided at first,
Yeah.
but I don't think they did nostalgia right because that was the entire movie. In
Mhm.
my opinion, it was just like pandering towards the old heads nostalgia, whereas they kind of like sprinkled it here and there throughout the movie, like in the right amount.
Yeah. And with Star Wars, that was a company not understanding Star Wars, and these directors and these, executives at Sony, they know Spider-Man. I mean, they've been doing it since, all the way back.
I mean, it
At
shows
least
the
for
difference, the handling.
yeah,
Sorry.
they knew how to handle Spider-Man well. I mean, they've been doing it with the games as well. Spider-Man PS4 is fantastic. So is Miles Morales. And so Sony knows Spider-Man. They know. I'd say they also know Deadpool, but that's a completely different, thing.
But they did it good. Like, well,
Yes, they
I've
did.
only seen Deadpool 1. I do want to see 2. But,
Both are fantastic.
yeah, Deadpool 1 for sure. And I have no doubt that Deadpool 2 is as well.
There are people who like. There are people who are. I've heard some of my friends like Deadpool 1 more than 2. There are some people who like Deadpool 2 more than 1.
But everybody,
Yeah, they at least
generally,
like
they
it.
like both of them.
Yeah. I think they're actually about the same, except I think I like 2 just a little bit more. Those movies show that, Sony's not skipping when it comes to these movies. They know how to do these movies right and do these movies, you know, you're going to enjoy them. They're going to have more hits than misses, I guess, is the best way of putting it. Well, I say that, and I probably should say that, yes, the infamous Fantastic
Oh,
Four
yeah,
movies.
that,
Or
that
Fan
movie
Four.
was just boring. The one with Jessica Alba.
Uh, Basically, you want to watch these people, want to watch these superheroes not be superheroes.
Yeah,
for an hour and a half, and but that was also that was pre that was 2000s. That was back when Marvel really wasn't doing anything really except for them and Spider-Man. That was it, and that was when they just didn't get it.
it
That was
was
back when
very hit and
DC was
miss.
on. That was back when DC was hitting marks and Marvel's not, and now it's the exact opposite.
I hear though for the comics world, they're pretty much on opposites. I
Mm,
don't know how Marvel's doing now, but I heard few years ago, just because of the way they were handling it, it was pretty bad. Whereas DC was
yeah.
kind of kicking their ass in terms of comics and animation. I mean, I would
Yes.
imagine that they still are in animation,
I wouldn't be surprised.
but I did hear that their streaming service failed.
Oh, the DC streaming service.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything about it, but I've never used it, so.
I mean, yeah, me neither. I've literally only heard one person talk about the DC streaming service, and you and I, we have a circle of nerds. So,
Hmm. Well, every studio doesn't need a streaming service.
well, yeah, because who's gonna want to only probably the hardcore fans, but I mean, if anything, you might as
Yeah.
well just like sublet it out to Netflix or Hulu or something.
Yes,
I mean, the,
and
the only people big enough to have their own service is, well, Disney.
yeah, because they own almost the entire world.
Yeah, yeah, don't even remind me. I mean, they have FX now, and do they own Hulu? Oh yeah, they do own Hulu and
I think
ESPN,
so. Yeah,
which is like
there will be a day
bonkers.
when we probably see Family Guy on Disney Plus.
Oof, if they even allow that. Shit.
I don't know. But going back to Far From Home, it's fantastic. It does take some, risks with bringing back, the old, which I wouldn't say it as much as a risk, but it does. We've already said spoilers. Do you want to go into the ending parts where, the last act when they do kill off characters?
Oh,
At least
absolutely. I mean,
one character.
I guess we'll reiterate again. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the movie, don't listen to this. Go watch the movie, then come back.
I know I keep saying this and I don't do it, but I think this time, for the sake of avoiding spoilers, or
Yes.
I guess the two people that listen to this podcast, they want to avoid spoilers. I will put timestamps for whenever
Yes.
this segment is ended.
Because a lot of things happen in this movie.
It's crazy, but it's amazing.
It's
No
they're
pun
opening
intended.
up and this is, as we've seen in the post credit scene, this is going to have repercussions on the entire franchise, at least for Doctor Strange.
I think in the trailer that he showed,
He's gonna fight
he's fighting
his
an evil version of
self, I
himself. Yeah,
guess. Which that's cool. I like how just if something happens in one, it's gonna continue to happen. I wonder how many other franchises this is going to mess with. Basically, the entire movie, their entire structure is because of Far From Home, or whatever the movie, I can't remember the top
No
of
Way
my
Home.
head. Yeah, No Way Home. Everyone knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he is wanted because of killing Sinestro. Well, inadvertently killing him.
Well, they don't know in
And
the end of the movie.
yes, he sees all the repercussions of that action. He is rejected from college. He is,
His friends too.
yes, yeah, his friends are caught in the crossfire, and it's up to him to try to right those wrongs. But in doing so, he makes it even worse. He goes to Doctor Strange, but he basically causes Doctor Strange to screw a spell up, bringing superheroes and villains into his world, and that's as far as I'll go. And it's up to Spider-Man and his friends and Doctor Strange to stop the villains and find some new allies as well in the movie. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Shit, Lance, why are you trying to avoid spoilers? You already spoiled it anyways.
Well, I'm just saying in case, there's some person not, because I really don't want to be that guy on the internet. That's just my casual review of the movie. Yes.
You know how hard it is for me to talk about that movie without spoilers?
Well, it's because starting from the third act, really, it's all Tobey Maguire and your Garfield.
That was funny, that one scene where that guy was like, Peter. And they're like, huh? And he had to say it like 5 times before. I don't even remember what he said that differentiated the.
I think he said computer.
Oh yeah, he just said computer. Yeah. That movie was actually like pretty funny. I think they did well with like the comedic relief.
Yes, and that character is now going to be turning to something because he now can do magic.
Can he? I thought he kind of lost it towards the end, and because he also forgot like about pretty much everything that happened.
Yeah, which maybe if it happens, maybe he'll. I mean, 'cause I don't think they would set that up to go nowhere.
I wouldn't think so either. I don't know, unless it was just purely meant for just a little bit of comedic relief again. But I would hope not.
I think that odds are it probably will go somewhere, but it might take a movie or two because he's got to build up that relationship again.
Yeah, and all right, I'm gonna try to say this with as little spoilers as possible, but I'm glad they didn't go with the ending, like a happier ending.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, please don't do that. Because you almost think throughout like the 3 to 5 minutes, towards the end, it's like, are they gonna go with it? Are that way? Are they gonna go that way? And I was like, please don't, because it's gonna be like some stupid fairy tale, crap, in my opinion.
Peter Parker tries to have everything, but in the end, he really gets
nothing.
Yeah, nothing, because with his friends, he's back to square one.
Or 0, really.
Yeah, I mean, heck, now the Avengers don't know him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Avengers don't know him. Probably the only person who, well, I don't know if it counts for dead people, but
yeah.
But well, the actions of Peter Parker erased. Spider-Man is still, it seems, because everyone still mentions Spider-Man. So
yeah, they just don't know who he is. The two are like separate now.
Yeah.
In the public eyes,
which is a really interesting, and I'm glad. I like the way that it's going. The only little concern I have with the sequels is I hope they're obviously going to probably bring those characters back in with them finding out he's either Spider-Man or whatever. I'm just hoping it doesn't drag. I'm hoping they do that, as well as swift as possible, so we don't have to go through the same song and dance again.
In a way that makes sense.
Yes.
Which, I mean, that's kind of why I like the way the movie ended, is because now they have something to build up off of instead of, like I said, I was like, oh, please don't tell me that they're going to go with, like, the happy ending, But
yes.
Because they didn't, now they have something to build off of for the next movie.
Yes. They have a basis, so, some people can go into the next movie kind of guessing what they're going to do, but there's a lot they could do with it.
Yeah.
They could have him just basically, he could go in and not try to connect those characters. He may meet an entire different group. He may try to reconnect, or there's a lot of possibilities. Heck, there may even be another event in Doctor Strange or in other movies that might change something.
Yeah, I guess really the possibilities are endless now.
Yes. And that's why I enjoy, especially, I know a lot of people didn't, after post-Endgame, it seemed the interest kind of died, because, after Endgame, that was what they were building up. That first really big, story was all like the Avengers and everything going, fighting Thanos. That's what they were building up, and as soon as that was over, it seemed like some of the interest died. To me, with this movie, it feels like it's back up again.
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody's talking about this movie. Like, I mean, a lot of people talk about the Marvel movies, but like, I feel like this one was super hyped.
Yes, and it shows, because look how much money it's made. It's made over, like, I think it was 1.6, or it was 1.16 billion, which is, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's, that, for any movie, that's a lot.
Why do movies around Christmas time sell so much? You would think everybody's out of cash because they all spend it on presents.
Well, I am not sure.
I mean, even Star Wars, like Force Awakens, sold like pretty high.
I don't know. When did Solo come out?
I don't know. It wasn't. I don't think it was around Christmas time.
I think that was a summer blockbuster.
Yeah, but I know for a fact Force Awakens came out during Christmas because I was kind of dragged to it.
Yes, because I remember
Unwillingly.
going to see it. I
unwillingly.
remember having a good time with that movie, but the sequels, no.
Who did?
I I didn't go see the Rise of Skywalker because I heard it was horrible.
I had no interest. Both of the movies I saw were unwillingly, although I will admit, reluctantly, I did like Rogue One.
Rogue One to me was a bore. I just found it boring.
I heard they were supposed to make a sequel to that, which was weird. I was like, how?
How are you gonna do it? All the characters are dead.
Exactly. But I don't know. I think I heard a couple people talking about that, but that was probably just Screen Rant saying, making up rumors.
Probably. I mean, that's what they're known for.
Yeah, they're pretty much like, I don't know, just like another IGN or something.
IGN, but slightly better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like some of their articles, I'm like, this is okay. But like, there's other articles I'm like, oh god, why did I even click this?
Yeah, most of it's
They're making money off of me probably with all the ads.
Yeah. With this movie, I think we're back on track for another great round of Marvel movies. Even though this is mostly Sony.
Which, I mean, they prove that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. And hopefully Marvel the executives of Marvel can basically ride, this momentum that Spider-Man allowed, the next Doctor Strange movie to do. I'm hoping they can keep that going.
This is like slightly off topic, but so I haven't watched any of the other Spider-Man movies. I've just seen him in, he was in Civil War.
Yes, he first appeared in Civil War.
But I was kind of like geeking whenever I saw Daredevil in the Spider-Man, I think, Far Away From Home movie.
Yeah,
I was like, what? They finally did a Netflix crossover? And I didn't even know. Like, this has been years ago already.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually did a Netflix crossover, which kind of like, I was totally geeking out. Well, because, I heard that the issue with that was like contractual, that they couldn't get those characters in. I mean, Disney can pull almost any string they want, which makes me wonder, like, why don't they have John Bernthal or, in a Marvel movie? That would be amazing.
Yeah, he plays Punisher. Punisher, right?
Punisher, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be an amazing crossover, because I just don't see what the issue would be, especially since now they're getting them back, the properties. Oh, I guess we could talk about that too. So,
yeah.
What I've been hearing is that they're going to bring back the Netflix shows on Disney Plus, but there's some news that I don't like. I don't really care for, but everything is kind of conjecture at this point, only because nothing is.
Will there be changes to the series?
That's where my problem comes with it. Is they say that they're going to do a soft reboot. So I'm like, what does a soft reboot mean? I mean, if you want to reboot, what was that show? Iron Fist, I'm all for that, because I pretty much liked every character in that show but Iron Fist.
I never really watched I didn't really watch DC's show offerings either, even though I know that's getting a lot of attention because of the Flash movie. It just never piqued my interest, the shows.
I like Gotham.
I don't know.
I enjoyed Gotham.
Gotham bored me. But I only watched like 3-4 episodes of season 1. It just bored me.
Oh, of course you did. What is it? No, I actually like the first season the best, because it was more similar to crime drama shows that I normally watch, and then they kind of went a little bit too out there, like the further it went, which, I mean, that's typical for comic series adaptations.
Yes.
Because they would like have somebody die and then they'd come back to life and then they'd die again, which that's something I'm not a big fan of. But then I kind of looked into it and they said, it's a typical thing. I'm like, okay, I guess this is kind of not my lane here.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's fine if it's for certain characters. I mean, Superman's infamous for coming back to life.
Yeah. I mean, and this is coming from somebody who's more of a casual fan of DC. I guess I'm a casual fan of Marvel too, but I used to lean more towards Marvel. Well, I mean, I guess I still do now, just reluctantly because it's a Disney property.
Yes. When I was younger, I veered towards DC more. To me, I'm about 50-50. I love DC's offerings when it comes to like really good like movies and games, which is, to me, Marvel had the better comics for a long time, and then DC had the better like movies and stuff for a while. But they've all had hits on every like field at one point.
I don't know why DC doesn't try to like. I mean, I don't want to say copy, but obviously the continuity of the Marvel movies, it's worked for them.
Uh-huh.
You know, having a one continuous universe as opposed to having like a bunch of movies that contradict each other that aren't in the same universe.
Which is exactly what I've said before. Was when we were talking before, was Marvel's all playing one ball game.
Yeah.
Where it's all one continuity, and DC is like their movies are playing like football, and the TV shows are playing baseball.
Yeah, it's way too hit and miss with them.
Yeah, and that I know some of their DC shows span back. I think maybe even before some of the Marvels. I'm not exactly sure, but it was always a little weird seeing. I mean, to me, it was also weird when I first watched that one show about it was the Shield, Agents for Shield. I watched that and I was like, yeah, I had to remind myself a few times that yes, this is the same continuity, even though they heavily reference stuff like that, because I was so used to them not being like shows not being in the same continuity as the movies.
Yeah, I kind of don't like how they don't really reference each other a whole lot, or it'll be like one line here and there.
Yeah.
As opposed to them actually meshing together as well as they should.
Yeah, and with DC though, it was just two separate. Like you had
everything separate,
Batman
almost.
vs Superman and like Justice League, and you had the TV shows doing something completely different with Green Arrow and the Flash. It was just completely different.
Yeah, I heard none of the TV shows, like all of them, contradict.
Mm-hmm. And they're different universes. That was fine once you get that, but
I say contradict. I meant
like
different
they
universe.
were very skewed.
Well, I kind of feel like DC just shoots and hope they hit the target.
Yes,
that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, thankfully as of late they have gotten some pretty good hits with Aquaman and stuff like that, and they are from what I've heard. I haven't watched too much, but I think the hype for the new Flash stuff is because they're doing Flashpoint, one of the most, if not the most famous Flash story.
You know what I think DC should do?
Better?
Well, better, yeah. But I heard that they were gonna go with a series of movies that were supposed to be more adult. I think they were gonna call it DC Black. I heard that was canceled. If I'm not mistaken, I could be talking out of my ass here, but I heard that they were going to do it starting with Joker, and they were going to have kind of a consistent universe from what I was understanding, and then they just totally canceled it.
I mean, that sounds interesting.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah, I think if done right, that could have been something that could have been really interesting and something really good.
Because then you get a certain portion of the audience. You can target the more adult market.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Joker was doing.
Exactly, and I don't know how much it sold, but I know it's definitely critically acclaimed. I haven't heard a single person say anything bad about it.
I enjoyed it.
It was fantastic. I did want to see it. But, so I don't know if you recall like all the talk about before the movie, but I remember hearing a lot of people saying, oh, I don't think Joaquin Phoenix can pull off Joker.
I was skeptical at first, but then I always kept saying, everyone was saying the same thing about Ledger.
Yeah. So no matter what, unless you have Leonardo DiCaprio or some very high critically acclaimed actor playing these roles, it's probably always going to be. There's always going to be doubters.
Yes.
You know what I saw? What I thought whenever I first heard that, I was like, interesting. And then after Walk the Line, I was thinking to myself, this guy's like kind of out of his mind. Maybe he can pull it off. That's what I was thinking the entire time. But I just remember he was a little nutty after Walk the Line.
And science probably didn't help.
Yeah.
In which came first. But as we've seen, Marvel's been. At the end of the day, Marvel has, they have more hits than misses, way more.
Yeah.
In which, this is also so. Now that we've seen Sony's offerings with the Spider-Man, starting something, it's back in Marvel's court with Doctor Strange. So it's now up to them to keep that momentum going and keep that interest up, and just to make a good movie, because I love Doctor Strange.
I haven't gotten too much in that. You said we did actually need to watch that sometime.
Yeah, we really should watch it. Like I know the general opinion of it is it's a good movie, but it's not like a lot of people's favorites. To me, it is one of my favorites. I don't know, something about the first Doctor Strange movie I enjoy. It could just be the weirdness of it and the zany, more of it, like, because it's going into Doctor Strange, it's a little weirder. It's trippier.
Yeah, well, I guess Strange is in the name.
Yeah. And I think that's probably one of the things that, it does things, other movies don't. Like, he goes to the mirror dimension and, he fights people from that, or fights people in that, I should say. And it's good. I enjoyed that movie probably a lot more than a lot of people did.
I think it was perfect having him, like, the way he did introduce all the other Spider-Mans, the way they did it.
Yes.
I think they did pretty much everything in that movie right.
Yes.
Like, it was crazy. Because I was thinking about it. Because I remember you and I were talking before the movie even came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are they even going to do this? They're going to have, like, different timelines or what? But they brought them in the most perfect way possible.
Yes.
Like, to where it made sense and it wasn't stupid or, just like a scratch your head, what the fuck type moment.
It makes me appreciate even the Tobey Maguire movies more now. Because, you see these, their own timeline, him fighting Doc Ock and all that, and then you're like, wow, like 20 years from now, these characters' stories are gonna continue, they're gonna even appear again.
They had a kind of a conclusion in addition to the conclusion.
Yes.
Well, I guess Amazing Spider-Man never really got one. We kind of got one with Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. With Spider-Man 3, you got the ending, most of the ending of Tobey Maguire with him, getting back with Mary Jane, and, everything was okay, I guess.
I mean, for me, I always have questions, so to me, it wasn't completely done. Like, I just saw more room for another movie.
Yeah. With me, Spider-Man 3 it showed the fatigue of it, and I'm glad that energy, like, when Tobey Maguire came back, that energy seemed like it was from the second movie, like the first and second movie. That energy was there.
It definitely felt it.
Yeah, the comedic timing was there. It felt like, even though, I do like how they did reference Venom, like Spider-Man's Venom, where he said he fought a thing from.
Yeah.
That was the only mention they needed. That was all they needed, and that was perfect.
They did everything right in that movie.
And Andrew Garfield mentioned Rhino, in my opinion, the worst villain in the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Because it's just a guy in a big rhino suit.
Yeah, it was kind of cool how they threw in that reference. Just all the references were so cleverly done.
Yeah. And, of course, I love J.K. Simmons.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He is fantastic.
He's funny.
I love how he was J. Jonah Jameson in every single continuity.
Was he an Amazing Spider-Man?
I believe so.
I don't know. I didn't finish those movies, but
it's been so long.
Yeah.
But I believe, and he will always, even if years down the line, if they're still making Spider-Man movies 50 years down the line when he's gone and everything, and I'm still around, he's still gonna be my favorite J. Jonah Jameson.
There was something that he said in the movie that kind of cracked me up, but it was during a more serious moment, I think.
I think the scene that I really liked from, I think he took something Peter said out of context.
Yeah.
And, like, my theater they were laughing a lot. I mean, I was laughing too.
I felt I was laughing the most in that entire theater.
It was, like, that was what was great about it is, our theater had older people and younger people and, people also my age as well. And so we had a wide group and all of them were laughing at the jokes. And heck, when Andrew Garfield appeared, when he jumped through the portal, people started clapping.
Oh yeah, you definitely heard the audience, say, just like gasping and whatnot.
Yeah, that's when, this is another big spoiler. Mary Jane dies. Fucking his Aunt May dies. I don't know why I said Mary Jane. Sorry.
There is no Mary Jane in this movie. It's Michelle Jones.
She is killed off, and that I wasn't expecting.
I wasn't either, because she got up just fine, and then you're thinking, okay, she's good.
How many things has that glider killed now?
Well, I guess they didn't kill, well, a certain character.
Like, it stabbed her, which is probably helped result in her death. It killed the Green Goblin. Didn't it kill his son as well in the third movie?
No, he never died.
Oh, never. Okay. It's been like
he was a redeemed villain in the end.
Yeah. It's like how. Yeah.
I do like how it kind of had a little bit of redemption for all the villains except for the classic, green. Oh, dude. Oh no, should I mention that one scene with Doc Ock in the end? Or is that too spoiler?
I think we can go into it. At this point, if you're listening and you haven't seen the movie, this is on you. You have no one to blame but yourself.
Okay. So I'm going to say it anyways. I love that part because I was wondering, in the beginning, after he got cured, where the hell did he go? That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he shows up. I asked my girlfriend that, and then, she was thinking the same thing. And then 5 minutes later, he pops up out of nowhere. And yes. I was thinking then, he's got to be playing them. Like, there's no way that he's about to side with the villains.
Yeah.
And then I was completely right. I was like, I knew it.
Well, because he was never a villain because of his intentions. It was the chip that was basically causing him to act that way.
Well, I thought it kind of made sense, too, because in the end, he had kind of redeemed himself, right? In the first Spider-Man, yeah. That's why I figured they kind of went with him first.
In the end of even Spider-Man 2, he sacrifices himself to destroy the reactor.
Yeah.
But he was always my favorite. He was always my favorite villain from the original. I mean, to me, Spider-Man 2 is like fantastic. It's always been good. Like, it's up there with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2 for my favorite Spider-Man movie.
I didn't even watch those.
You haven't watched Into the Spider-Verse?
No. We were supposed to watch it that one time, and then it just never happened.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's the reason why there hasn't been a podcast for a while with me.
Oh, well, this was even before I left for Japan.
Yes. So, you think we're good on this? You want to move on, or?
I just wanted to talk about. I don't know if I should go back to the shows. No, it just with the Marvel TV shows, it just kind of annoyed me that, like I said, everything at this point is conjecture. But they say they wanted to do a soft reboot. So what exactly do they mean by soft reboot?
Could it be just as in it's going to keep the same actors, but it's going to be a different story? Or could it...
I think I read at least 2 or 3 articles in regards to it. They didn't really specify. They didn't really go into detail into that aspect. But if they are going to go with the soft reboot, as in like wiping out the story, I would be pretty upset because I enjoyed every season of Daredevil. I don't even like Daredevil like as a character. But
I've heard from one of my friends' perspective, he enjoyed the last season of Daredevil a lot.
All of them were amazing. The first one, the first one was good, from what I remember. Second one, absolutely amazing. Third one, I loved one of the villains, Poindexter.
Yeah, I remember.
Bullseye.
I myself have not really watched. I watched a little, like about 2-3 episodes of Daredevil, or not Daredevil, Punisher.
No, you gotta finish these seasons, bro.
Yeah, I really need to get in, but at this point, I'm probably gonna wait till they appear on Disney Plus.
Man, just pirate it like everybody else in the country.
Nah, but no. But going back to the whole TV shows, I just heard they were really good, but they just were caught at a bad time with Disney wanting to do their own thing with their streaming service.
Yeah, exactly. And then it kind of, like I said, I don't like how pretty much the only connection between them and the movies is a sentence here or two referencing them. And it's very, for someone who hasn't seen all the movies, I don't catch all of them. I don't even catch most of them.
Mm.
But it kind of sucks because the whole contractual obligations, that's the reason why they don't really cross over with actors.
Yeah.
Because the whole Netflix deal. But the thing I don't understand is Disney has so much pull. Why can't they just get their seasons off of Netflix and onto Disney Plus? I don't think
I
it would
don't
be
know.
difficult for them. I really don't. They probably have the best lawyers in the country with the amount of money they
Yeah.
have.
Well, at the same time, though, that's why they haven't been able to get Spider-Man away from Sony.
Oh well, but you're talking international at that point.
Yeah. It's it could be the same problem. I don't know.
But I think whenever it comes to them versus Netflix, they're definitely a bigger beast.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I just think it would be pretty shitty for them to wipe out the story that's already made. Because season 3 of Daredevil, I was looking forward to what was going to happen with Poindexter.
Yes.
And then
Which
Punisher.
is what I've heard a lot of people say is like, even my friend John, he said this is before they announced that they were going to be like basically finishing up what they filmed and then stopping. He told me, he's like, I can't wait to see what they do with the rest of the series, because he said, I love the last season.
Oh, it was amazing.
And it's a shame that it was cut down. At the time, I said it was a shame that it was cut down in its prime, but now that hopefully they will continue it. They continue to keep that momentum, but I don't know. It seems to me like a very wait and see situation.
And it's been that way for how long have they been canceled? At least 2 years almost.
I think so.
Yeah, because everybody loved Punisher. I don't know anybody who didn't like Punisher. Punisher attracted the attention of people that aren't even into Marvel, because it's the more realistic side. It doesn't really have superpowers or anything like that.
I would love to see him work with Deadpool at some point.
Oh, that would be amazing. Well, now that Disney has the properties, I don't even think like they completely have it and not just sublet it out to Netflix. I think there's going to be a lot less issue with getting the actors from the Netflix series into the movies.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we already saw Daredevil in Spider-Man Far Away From Home.
Yes.
Which I was just.
But they are a lot more friendly to Spider-Man than they are Deadpool.
Yeah, because
Deadpool is a hard R, and that's. To be honest though, Punisher is a little quite a bit more gritty and dark as well. So that's a series I thought would never be on. Like when I heard, when you told me about a month or two ago that they were doing stuff with Marvel on Disney, or with Punisher, I'm like, I didn't think that. I did not think they would even touch Punisher.
No, I felt like they would. Well, me personally, my opinion. Because why not keep a series that's gonna have that's gonna have an audience? But I get where your line of thinking is though too.
It's like you don't think Disney Plus, but we also have stuff like The Mandalorian, which is pretty violent and dark.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of it, but I would imagine that's how it is, just from the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's more the violence of it, but it is it's worth watching.
Didn't somebody get disintegrated in that too?
I think a couple of Jawas. Sorry,
yeah.
Jawas.
Oh no. Damn, you got my hopes up when you said Ewok.
No, oh, so you're one of those guys who hates Ewoks.
I do hate Ewoks, yes.
Hey, you're not the only one. Someone at LucasArts, when they were making, I think it was supposed to be a perspective of a stormtrooper, because in a level of Dark Forces 1, you can find it's written on a wall said Ewoks suck, and it's I think in an Imperial base. So one of the stormtroopers probably lost a lot of friends. We're going to lose a lot of friends because it takes place before Episode 6. Probably hates it if he survived. He probably hates him a lot more now.
Yeah, they threw a bunch of rocks at my friends, and while they were missing their shots with their horrible aim.
My friends. All they heard is these weird, the tree started talking.
And then this golden god appeared. Yeah, I think I've said my piece on Marvel now.
Yeah, short end of the story. Far From Home was fantastic.
Uh, uh,
It's
No Way Home.
no way, whatever. Well, Far From Home is fantastic. Yeah, I love it so much I can't even remember the name. Well,
Dude, I'm not gonna cap, dude. Before this podcast started, I kept on forgetting the name of it. I had to keep looking it up until I typed it on on my Cliff Notes. I kept on forgetting the name.
well, when we were at the theater, all I had to say was like we went to the 140. It was 150 showing. I just said 150 showing for Spider-Man, and they gave me the ticket. It was the right one.
My girlfriend ordered the ticket, so that's why I also didn't get a look at the name. But
I never looked at the ticket. I just took the ticket and got my popcorn and drinks and went to the theater.
I didn't even hold the tickets or anything.
Our next order of business is the Splinter Cell remake. But first, you want to tell them your history with Splinter Cell?
So pretty much whenever I was 5, I think is whenever the game had come out, I started playing it. I sucked at it. I didn't beat it for years. Well, actually, no, I beat it once when I was a kid, but I could never beat any game when I was a kid. I always sucked at every game.
That's the whole growing up aspect.
Yeah.
You suck at video games, especially in the NES and SNES era. You basically played games just to play them and slowly get better at them.
I mean, I would go in and start like shooting. I knew it was a stealth game, but I would still shoot anyways. I just didn't know how to play the game.
That's optional.
Yeah. I mean, well, it is later in the series.
Yeah. Well, there is no stealth in the later games.
Yeah, pretty much, especially Conviction.
There's combat and light combat.
Exactly.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah. I think we kind of talked about it on one podcast, but you know what? I guess it's been so long. We can reiterate. Whenever I was a kid, I played the first two. I think I got through the first one eventually. Second one, not so much until later. Then I guess I found it. I found my way back to Splinter Cell 3 years ago.
Okay, when you get on the Xbox, I see you playing it.
Yeah, I'm always playing that shit. And then, so I get to, what's the third one? Oh yeah, Chaos 3. Which was weird to me at first. Just playing only the first two.
Yeah.
I go to Double Agent. I actually, Double Agent's the one that everybody's kind of mixed on. Because I see people like it, some people don't. And then it's like, I like version 1, which you see more of that than I have. But,
yes.
Some people are like, I like version 1 better, I like version 2 better.
Which both have their pros and cons.
Yeah, I like both of them for different reasons. I think they both do pretty good at what they set out to do, mostly. I guess some mechanics in both annoy me,
Yes. There's things I don't. I've played most of the 360 version, which is the version 2?
Yeah, version 1. That's the Which I thought that one. Like I said, it's hard to even say which one's a better game because because version 2 is pretty much Chaos Theory 2.
Yes.
And then you jump to Conviction, which is what? Is this a Splinter Cell?
The worst of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. It's the worst Splinter Cell game. I wouldn't even recommend playing it. I was pulling my hair out the entire time. I never want to go back to it.
Which, I will say this now, I am thinking about playing that for my channel, with you included. We have to, I'm saying this right now, we have to do co-op when we get to Chaos Theory.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I look forward to that one. I mean, we tried it. I think we got, 2 levels in?
We've almost beaten it.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Wait, Chaos Theory or Blacklist?
Conviction.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say the controls are horrible.
Oh, absolutely. And they don't do too much better in the next one.
Well, probably, because by then you'll have your PC set up and everything.
Hopefully.
We'll probably play it on PC. Because then we can remap those controls. Because those controls are just
god-awful.
But,
so that was my history. What was your history with it?
My history is, when I was younger, I was, let's see, when did the first one come out?
Pretty sure it was 02 or 03.
So I was 10, 11. I was just, getting to the point where I was, playing a lot of action games. I played Knights of the Republic. I was playing, some other first-person shooters, some action games. At that point, I was able to beat the first one when I got it, and then I didn't play Pandora Tomorrow until after I played Chaos Theory.
Best one.
Yes, that game is Chaos Theory is my favorite Splinter Cell game.
Oh, that's his favorite. Mine's Pandora Tomorrow.
Yeah, I didn't play Pandora Tomorrow until about a year or two after Chaos Theory. Because I played them originally on PlayStation 2. I played the first one on PlayStation 2. And then I played Chaos Theory on the original Xbox. And then I got Pandora Tomorrow. I played that on when I played Pandora Tomorrow. At that point I had built my first gaming PC. So then I bought them all on PC. And then I've been playing them on PC since. Except for Conviction, because I decided I'm going to get that on Xbox, and that was a big mistake. Well, I played Double Agent on PC as well. And then with Conviction, I like the first two. I like Splinter Cell 1. I like 2. I love Chaos Theory. It's my favorite. Then with Double Agent, it's still good, but to me it started the downfall where the stupid ideas that Double Agent, especially the stupid story ideas, were not good for the series. Because after that, we got Conviction that is just...
Conviction kind of destroyed the canon.
Yes. And it just... even with starting with Double Agent, though, they made decisions that I don't think they knew how to write themselves out of. And it just snowballed from there. And as of now, I have not played Blacklist since it came out, and I remember nothing about it. I remember not... I don't even remember if I liked it or not. I think it left about the same impression that Halo 4 originally did.
I don't blame you. It's pretty much Conviction 2, but with sprinkled a little bit of OG Splinter Cell features in it. They give you the night vision goggles and the sticky camera.
I've seen pictures of it, and that's what I was wondering. I assume they did. Because I remember looking at the Steam store when I was looking at Conviction, and I couldn't bring myself to buy either one.
Yeah, it's not... I played the first 2 or 3 levels of Blacklist, and I just kind of got bored.
And that's our history with them. It's a tragic story.
Towards the end.
Yes. It was a story of triumph, fall, and then an even deeper plummet later on. But hopefully we'll soon be out of that.
Well, because Sam Fisher's just been appearing in cameos, some of which I liked. I did like him in Wildlands.
I liked his cameo because it did signify that, yes, a lot of time has passed.
Oh, and then the snake reference.
Yes, and the Solid Snake reference.
That was a little sad.
Yes, it was, because it does remember everyone that, yeah, he's really the only... I mean, he's not really active as the game sense. Everyone else is doing everything.
Yeah. Because he just comes in on cameos for Wildlands, Breakpoint. I think some mobile game, too, that nobody really seems to be paying attention to. At least I've heard
nothing about it.
I've heard
that he appeared in the mobile game. I heard nothing else about it.
I've never heard anything else about the game after that. I think it's supposed to be like an RPG or something. But
Probably.
And then he also appeared in Rainbow Six. He's pretty much in every game but his own.
Yeah.
And that's the stage we're at now.
Yes. But, as we said, hopefully that will be ending with this apparent remake.
So I can tell you what my skepticism is about the remake.
Well, first off, what information do we know about it?
I read a whole article, and pretty much all I got was Ubisoft is doing a remake, but they didn't really give any details. That's the last I heard of it. So
we know pretty much, other than the word remake, we know nothing about it.
Exactly. So we don't even know if it's going to be a reboot or just a remake.
As of right now, anyway.
Yes. As far as I know.
You could post this, and like the day after, they reveal everything.
I know, well, because they still haven't even revealed anything about the Netflix show that's coming up. We
Yeah.
just know that there is a Netflix show
Yes.
that's going to be made by the same people who worked on John Wick, or some of the same people.
Hmm.
Which I have high hopes for.
Yes. I have no problem with them not doing any, keeping it hush hush. That's fine.
It's for me, it's just annoying because I want to know what's going on. I want to see a trailer or something.
Which, hopefully soon, going into this new year, Happy New Year, everyone.
Hopefully this comes out before then.
Yes. Well, probably not, seeing as it's the 30th. I'm hoping maybe soon we will see something for it, because right now we know nothing. Except it's a remake.
We don't even know if anything. It could be a reboot for all we know.
Yes. It could even just be an up-res of the original games. Who knows?
I mean, that would be fine enough. I just wish they would add features, but not subtract them.
Mm-hmm.
Such as, the split jump. Because they took that, they pretty much took that, well, no, they didn't take it out of Chaos Theory. But they did, they made it to where you can't just jump off walls. You have to be in an enclosed enough space to where you could split jump.
Yes.
I didn't care for that. Or to where you could turn, and shoot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like,
I understood that, but I never had a problem, only because except for the few times you are required to shoot, I was not shooting.
Oh yeah, you play it right.
It's all, especially with Chaos Theory, it's all perspective. Do you want to kill everyone in this mission? Do you want to immobilize them all? Do you just want to knock them out? Do you want to avoid detection? Do you want to be a ghost, basically? Do you want to make it where they will not even know you were there? Because that game gives you so many routes, so many options of stealth.
Yeah, so I was looking up in forums, and people said that the assault class is pretty much useless, but I highly disagree. I feel like that game kind of catered a little bit more to the people who like action.
Yes.
To where you could actually go a little bit more action-y route.
Uh-huh. You could, and that's another thing I enjoyed about was, even if my entire playthrough, I never had to draw my my rifle once, that was comforting to know I still had it.
Yeah.
And I always with my first, I simply remember with my first playthrough, I did take, I went with the assault class for most of it, just in case, because, your first playthrough, you don't know what you're going to expect, you don't know what you're going to come across. So, and of course, my first playthrough, I did end up getting caught a couple of times, and even today, I still get caught, but, shooting your way out of situations, was expected. And with that, I always kept with the assault. Nowadays, when I play it, I usually do with his recommendation.
That's what I did at first. But I always chose the class that had the shotgun attachment, which is pretty much my favorite thing about the newer Splinter Cells.
Yes.
Even though I guess it shouldn't be, but it always is.
And with this remake, I'm just hoping they can keep, the consistency better and the interest going, because we live in a much different gaming environment than we did back when the originals were going.
Yeah, and then they were still trying to figure it out as they went.
Yes.
I don't want to say they perfected it with Chaos Theory, because they took out, it's very minor features, but it's features that I really liked, such as the SWAT turn, or being able to, I guess, huddle up against the wall and turn and shoot. They took that out, and then the wall jumps as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping they don't take those features out completely, because they're kind of needed in the first game, especially.
Yeah.
But they don't have SWAT turns. They only had that in the second one, which is pretty much where you can jump from one wall to the other if it's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that's it sounds stupid, but that's kind of more my concern than anything.
Yeah, I never really, especially with, going into Chaos Theory is the game I go back to anytime I need, a stealth gaming fix, and that does it perfectly fine. I just enjoy going into a mission and be like, okay, which route and which way do I feel like doing it this time? It's like, do I feel like going, doing an extra round and not, they don't even know I'm there, or do I want to knock out the people in my way? Do I want to knock everyone out? And just the fact that you can choose whether to do the side mission later or now, which it benefits. My perspective, it benefits you to do the optional objective then and there, because if not, you have to do it later on.
Yeah.
But
admittedly, my first playthrough in Chaos Theory, I just blasted my way through just because I had no idea what I was doing. And then the cargo ship mission, I set off 4 alarms. So that botched the side objectives for me.
Yeah. And the fact they do mention it's like in Chaos Theory they got rid of a lot of the gamey things. Like, oh yeah, if you set off alarm, it's game over.
Oh yeah.
That was
3 alarms and
yeah. As long as you're alive, you can complete the objective.
Yeah, which was weird to me at first.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that was weird about Chaos Theory to me at first, but I kind of got used to it the more I played the game.
Yeah.
I still can't wait to beat that co-op.
Yeah, that's gonna be hilarious because we're probably at 2 playthroughs, one of the single player and one of the co-op because they're much different.
Yeah, and then we'll be switching off. Oh, speaking of playthroughs, I think Lance, you had something to say.
Yes, as of within the next few days, I will be uploading onto my channel. The first game we're going to be playing is Spyro 1, one of my personal favorites. And, I'm sure everyone will enjoy it.
I think so.
And it'll be your first time really seeing the game, all the way through.
Yeah, I've never actually played a Spyro.
Yes. I figured. You never seemed the 3D platformer type.
Well, also, that was a PlayStation exclusive too, right?
Yes. It was back whenever. I am playing the Reignited trilogy version.
Wait, that was on PS1, was it? I don't know about PS2.
Yes. That was on PS1, and he had a couple of Fever Dream games on the PS2. Okay. And then basically lay dormant until, the Reignited trilogy.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that will conclude today's episode of Lethal Nonsense Podcast number 11. Please do subscribe, like, share, post it on your Facebook. I don't know, I guess you could share it on your Instagram, Twitter,
whatever. Out your front door.
Yeah, tell your grandma, tell your moms. Well, then again, they're probably not interested in gaming, so maybe they won't like it, but...
Gaming and nerd stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe they will. Maybe we get them into it. So, anyways, thank you for tuning in. And this is Lance and Tristan.
Yep.
Out.
Have a good night.